Hi everybody, NagiNaoe101 here, and I am back online for a little while. Just an FYI, yes, it's true, I went through a little bit of a problem with a cyber stalker on my FB. How that happened, I really don't know. I could talk about it, but it's really complicated. I mean, for honestly, the person in general that I'm talking about is a very uneven individual and is still pissing me over a thing for Batman. Okay, Batman 2021 is coming out and he is freaking ape about it. He absolutely loves it. I, on the other hand, have other plans, and that did not align very well with him. That he actually attacking me over actually publishing a book. Okay, I published a book called Dragon's Library. You can find it on Amazon, and honestly, I don't think it's very that good, but you know, I'm not gonna begrudge myself any bad publicity for that reason. But honestly, being attacked over the fact I published a book actually relatively hurts, and I honestly don't know why he got mad at me. He also called me racist because, apparently, not being Christian is a bad thing to him, and questioning the validity of some religions, sort of irked him a little bit. I never really, verbally wanted to say anything bad, but I questioned a lot of the validity of certain things, and he never really wanted me to be questioning those, because apparently questioning the value of something is relatively bad in his eyes. I honestly don't know, I don't care, but when somebody tells you that you have to believe in something because they believe in it, does not necessarily make for a good friendship. I'm not freaking kidding here. One of my ex-friends who was Catholic actually would have agreed with me on this one, because one, it paints a very bad image of the way they believe and also the way they treat people. Honestly though, I would say that about Takara. She absolutely was a sucky friend. I will tell you that right now. I have had my share of really sucky friends, and some of them are really, I don't blame. I usually just blame the fact that they probably were raised to be sucky people because of who their parents are. I mean, Takara's mother was a lawyer and kind of treated her family as if them being around was an inconvenience, so I kind of feel bad for them, because that just accesses a lot of self-loathing on their end, because what kid wants to get told, oh, your mom doesn't really care about you? That doesn't really bode for really good self-esteem, now does it? So when I got her into ffxiv the first time around, I think Takara felt a lot more liberated, a lot better. But she ended up going to the Japanese server because she felt much safer there. She didn't mind, and she was learning Japanese, so I guess learning off of that server was probably a better choice for her. But the way she treated me really sucks, because I was not trying to be a bad person. I wasn't trying to be anything but my genuine self. And unfortunately to her, my genuine self, which included being a Star Wars fan, irked the living fuck out of her. Excuse the language. I am right now mining, so I'm trying to get Mythrite ore because I absolutely need it. And my armor builder absolutely needs that stuff. So anyway, let's go on to talk about what's going on in my life. In general, people think that because I am a gamer, well, I don't have a very good sense of reality, which is absolutely incorrect. I think that there is a sort of a belief among the normal people who are not into gaming, that they think that, oh, you're into gaming, therefore your brain is not developed enough to understand the real world. Quite frankly, that kind of irks me a lot because I actually pay attention to the news. I actually like listening to the news sometimes because sometimes you actually get some really important stuff. Like today's weather report of do not go outside. It is a freaking cold as hell. You want to freeze? Be my guest. I am not going outside. Yeah, that actually happened. One of my friends just told me I am very lucky not to be working today because, yeah, I don't feel like freezing. If any of you have ever been to Colorado, it is freaking cold out here. So, yeah, I don't feel like freezing today, and I really don't feel like going outside and taking photographs in the freaking cold. Because my for one, my camera is not equipped for that, and two, when I was doing video, yes, I am going to be doing more videos regarding my photography, going out to parks, and enjoying my life. Honestly, I really do like going out and enjoying people and involving a lot of my friends in what I do. I, for one, am not sure if those kind of videos are anything worth it to some people, but I'm guessing they probably are, considering some friends of mine inlaid a very positive response to me actually doing more videos involving going out and checking out stuff, even in the freezing freaking cold. Yesterday was my foray into that before it became very, very cold outside. I will tell you, blizzards are not fun. I'm just gonna say that. It's not fun. I've lived in Evergreen, Colorado, which back when I was a kid, blizzards were probably par for the course because, oh my god, it would get really cold and you'd be like going, oh, let's go outside. Mom, never mind. It's too dang cold. Because, in all honesty, yeah, that is definitely the weather in Colorado. Back when I was in high school, I think the funniest thing is we had one kid in my class that actually walked out one day in, I kid you not, shorts and a t-shirt. And the weather was so freaking frigid, he was still standing out in the cold saying, I'm not cold, I'm not cold. What the hell? I think my mom thought he was probably going to get frostbite or something. Because apparently high school students are known for this. And my mother absolutely thought it was pretty stupid. I mean, I kind of agree with my mom on that one, because who goes out in the freezing cold like that? I mean, even my husband doesn't do that, and even he says that is a bad idea. Even he has said it's a bad idea to go out in the freezing cold like that. But again, you're looking at people back when I was in school that probably, I think, left their brains somewhere in their closet somehow. Because, yeah. Get dressed and freeze. Let's just, let's do a little price check on your sanity there. I went to high school. I know exactly what's going to be going on in some of these high school kids' heads, even in 2021. Please put a coat on and go out normal, like literally like a normal human being, and not be a freezing crittersicle. Because literally, your mother does not want a critter cube for a child, and yeah, I've sat through many of my high school years wondering how the hell this person has not caught pneumonia or some sort of fucking disease. I'm still curious on how that actually happens, because my friends in high school were but crazy. I'm still laughing at the fact that I am running around in a freezing cold area in a game, and my character is not freezing. I am still curious about that. Has anyone ever thought that maybe my character might be cold? Of course, I have actually told a friend of mine about that joke, and he told me that was pretty funny, considering people in my friends from Japan and my friends from other countries have all said these things are not normal. That people are not. Of course, I'm also going to talk about my situation with the cyberbully, which wasn't really, I don't know. I still don't get it, considering that this kid probably, I don't know. For 10 minutes I've been talking about whatever is on my mind, so I'll just go into detail about what happened with this kid. Now, one, kids with autism have a lot of different things. I have friends with autism, and many of them are very decent human beings. But some of them will obsess over the strangest things. And, I do not have autism. I have never had it, and I have been told I had it, or have it, or whatever, and I don't. When I was living, with a learning disability, my parents have actually had to tell teachers to stop giving me diagnosis of things I don't have. Being LD does not stand for, you having autism, okay? You could be diagnosed with autism later on in life and have never set foot in a special ed room, okay? You can be diagnosed with autism and not set foot in a special ed classroom. Ever. Because you have basically a higher understanding and intelligence that you do not need to be in that room. But, of course, I will tell you that there are kids that were in my class that were diagnosed with autism, but that wasn't until they were probably between the age of 35 and 40. Can you imagine that kind of diagnosis coming that late in their lives? And they are like, what the hell? Why wasn't this picked up on? And these were kids in my class in high school who used to laugh when I went to the special ed room for tutoring in math and science. Now, what kind of theoretical person does this? In most cases, schools in the the state I lived in, did not have the funding nor the ability to actually fully test every student in the dang school. Let me tell you that you can go to any school in the district that I went to, and somewhere in that group of kids will have 1 to 2 ratio of kids that will turn out to be autistic. Now, is that a bad thing? Absolutely not. That is absolutely not the fault of the school or the fault of the parents. This is the fault of the environmental situation of which most of parents are being fed some irritating lies. One, I was diagnosed with a learning disability prior to me getting vaccinated, okay? That's a big, let's not piss me off any further, because when a friend of mine was diagnosed with autism, her parents automatically changed their view of their kid having autism, because they probably realized that she had autism before she got vaccinated. I was vaccinated for everything prior to me getting diagnosed with learning disabilities. And trust me, people have said, oh, you're learning disabled, you must have, and oh my god, listening to these theoretical nightmare parents who think their child has some mental disease. Hello, FYI, this kind of thing happens in reality. Everybody is different. Everybody has a different take on their diagnosis. My learning disability does not have anything to do with with it. I do have OCD in some point. Trust me, oh wow, I have a lot of other people here today. So, there it is. You got my diagnosis. My teachers were not to blame for my educational issues. Although, I will say one of my teachers was the most awesome man alive, who, if I ever see him again, Mr. Wyckoff, you are a freaking genius. Yes, this man absolutely got so pissed off one day, because I was not allowed to take an AP class that he was teaching, so he decided to be the cool one and invited me to be his teacher's aide, to be a student aide. I mean, literally, I was so stoked. Unfortunately, I moved before I could ever take the position. He said that in all his years of teaching, he had never seen a school automatically tell a student who was able to pick up on any concept to not be able to take AP philosophy. This irritated the hell out of him because, one, he was convinced I could do it, and two, he said that I could probably do a better job than half of the dang students in his own class. He absolutely could not believe somebody in my school told me I couldn't do it. My teachers, he absolutely signed me up for the fact that he said he would just tutor me himself. Now, that is a sign of a very good teacher. Tell you what, I will say that in the most awesome way necessary. Mr. Wyckoff deserved some sort of flipping award. I mean that in every possible sense of the word. That man deserved a frickin' award. Yet, all the time I went to school, yeah. So, anyway, with my cyberbully situation, again, I do want to reiterate, not everybody who's in special ed has ever gone through what I went through. In fact, in some sense, the special ed classes I was in, I was absolutely told I could not date. Yes, I was told that dating was not allowed. Can you imagine being a student and being told that? Yeah, people have said these things are unnecessary. Be that as it may, this was back in days where not many people knew exactly how to deal with special needs kids and learning disabled. Oh my god, there's so many minors today. So, yeah, now you got my story and how I coped with it. Now for the coup de grace of the interesting kid who tried to... I am just going to call this person Batsy, okay? The reason why I'm calling him Batsy is because, not because he's bat crazy, it's because of the way he treats his friends. Okay, one, being learning disabled does not necessarily mean you are automatically under the same definition. Unfortunately for Batsy, he considered introverts like myself to be autistic. Now, there are autistic introverts. I will mention that. I have met them. I am friends with some of them. If you go to our introverts on Reddit, you will meet some very nice people who also will tell you, yes, there are introverts that are autistic. Are they like that normally? You know what? I don't know. I don't want to make assumptions. But people like Batsy made these assumptions about me, and it irritated the living hell out of me. So one day I blew up at him, and I said some things I really should not have said, like I said in my earlier post about my cyberbully issue. And to reiterate on this, I will reiterate it 1,000 times. I am not a person that likes to bully people, but when I have to yell at somebody, I will yell at them. I wanted to be left alone. I did not want to be bothered. I did not want to deal with his drama. And unfortunately, he wanted to bring drama in. And unfortunately for me, drama seems to like to drop a fucking head, like a ton of bricks on my goddamn head. And if I'm sorry to cuss, and I'm sorry if this probably, I'm not being monetized, so I don't care. But honestly, being told, oh, you're being mean, you're being a mean person. I'm trying to reiterate the fact that I was not trying to be mean to this kid. I was actually trying to be nice. I tried to tell him a dozen times, these are my beliefs, these are my intentional ideas. Yes, I was raised asexual. I was raised to not want to get married, not to want to do things. Believe me, my husband has tried hundreds of different ways to getting me to feel like I am a human being. Unfortunately for this, it ends in the fact that these people who programmed my brain did a lot of flipping damage. I mean that in every sense of the word. If you've ever been in a special ed room back in the 1980s into the 1990s, a lot of kids went through the same stuff. I mean, I literally had to tell somebody one morning at school that I really didn't want to be there. And of course, this was before the year of, this was a year before the Columbine more shocked that I was about it, because one, we used to give these kids rides, and trust me, my mother to this day has never forgiven herself for never actually pressing the issue on any of them. So you can imagine what my mom was like dealing with this. And honestly, I understand where people come from, saying these kids were monsters, blah blah blah. Now, let me tell you about what we had to deal with. In my special ed room, we actually had a boy who tried to sexually assault another girl. Now, how this occurred, and I'm still a little shocked by how this occurred. My friend who was in school had no idea this absolutely happened until we actually had to absolutely talk about it. Now, I'm gonna check my gatherings. No, I don't need a fishing guide. I'm sorry, my fisher is pretty bad. So, yeah, I'm not sure how it ended up being as bad as it was. So, how I ended up with a kid with how the sexual assault happened, I am still in the dark about, because it was never reported, and I don't think anybody actually reported this kid until years and years later when I had moved. So I only heard about it from one of the kids I was friends with, and of course having to endure that knowledge and then having to hear someone say, oh, by the way, so-and-so is in jail. I'm like, really? Why? And then you're told exactly why he's in jail. And you're like, oh, crap. I didn't know that. And honestly, I can tell you, people can be kind of cruel and be kind of buttheads. I mean, in all sense of the word, buttheads, because the kids in my school were theoretically the word jerk does not actually define itself very well with these people. Of course, I went to high school with one kid who, when he corrected himself, he became very dismissive of certain things, but he became very, very angry at everything. I mean, this is a kid who went to my high school for 10 years, and he told a bunch of kids in my class that if anyone picked on me any further, he would actually take them into the back corner and take charge of them. So, yeah, let me tell you, if you ever meet this kid, he's married and has 2 kids of his own, trust me. he went from being a bad person to being a very, very nice guy whose parents supported his decision to not go to school with a football scholarship. Now, the reason why he didn't go to school with his football scholarship, and I will be very blunt about it, is during that time he absolutely openly despised the way other people were treated. So when he told me he did not want to go to college on terms of a football scholarship, I kind of was like, really? Why? And then he told me it was because it would just be putting himself as a bully for the rest of his goddamn existence. So yeah, you guys got the story. He definitely was one of those guys who just said, screw it, I'm not going to do this no more. You guys are fucking jerks. And trust me, he went from being a jerk to being like the nicest guy you'd ever meet. In the back alley of a convenience store, holding up a conversation with somebody and then saying, hello, I'm going to, if you're going to hold up somebody, I'm going to fucking your asshole. I'm going to take you to jail myself. Yeah, that's basically what one of my friends was. He absolutely was the most amazing person I will ever have the wonderful, wonderful life of being friends with. And if anyone says anything bad about him, I will go and tell you some pretty funny stories about some of the things he did back in high school that could probably be considered really bad taste, but you know what? This channel has enough dumb things to say. So, again, on here just mining away. But when I mentioned to people about the cyberbullying, some people were like, oh my gosh, that's really sad, I'm sorry to hear that. But here's the thing, I didn't feel sorry for myself. I literally don't feel sorry for myself about it. You know why I don't feel sorry for myself? Because, you know what? I'm used to cyberbullies. I had a guy by the name of RES3 trying to tell me I was a crappy-ass artist, and he told me that I stole art, which is kind of funny, considering that artwork that he said I stole was my own. He literally found my artwork on a website called, but yeah, literally this kid stole my artwork, said I stole artwork from myself, by the way, that which makes no sense, and turned around and told a bunch of people in my group of friends that I am a crappy artist. By the way, the person that I am referring to as RES3 actually got himself in a lot of trouble, and let me tell you, that was pretty funny, considering how he got himself in trouble was... Okay, if I tell you this, he said he was in the Navy, he was only in for a year, but he ended up being kicked out because of mental stress and mental issues. He ended up on a website about stolen valor. Trust me, I'm still getting a lot of funny stories about that. If you ever run into this kid online or off, get the hell away from him. Because, let me tell you, the guy is a flippin' lunatic. He literally stalked one of my friends for, like, years, and, how he never got caught, I still have yet to figure that one out. But, oh my gosh, he literally, got arrested, and of course, he would plead insanity for that, and I am laughing my butt off because he expected me to actually back him up. And of course my comment was, yeah, dude, he's crazy. He's fucking shuds. My ex actually thought it was pretty funny. I literally did not understand anything. of what he was doing, because he literally pissed me off to the point that I really didn't want to deal with him. And his so-called girlfriend, Angel, let me put it this way, I don't know if that's even a real person, considering he liked to make fake accounts and say that the people that he was, I mean, he scammed a lot of people, okay? This is a kid who made a mission to scam people. I am living proof of that, the fact that he had me going for a couple of months, thinking I was being, I was going to be treated like shit for reporting his account on DA. So yeah, that was me. I was NagiNaoe101 on DA, and I am still NagiNaoe101 on DA. So, did it prove that he was flicking nuts? I don't know. I don't care. All I know is I really didn't want to deal with his drama. And his entire argument about me was 1, unfounded, 2, incorrect, and 3, I did absolutely nothing wrong. I actually called him out, and I got in trouble for it. So, yes, I guess my entire story of being a fucking shut-in for 6 years because of his irritating shenanigans, won me a lot of really bad press. When I published my book, I was expecting RES3 to report me for plagiarism, which never happened, thank God. But honestly, the only person that absolutely got on me for publishing was, again, my cyberbully by the name of Batsy. Now, Batsy got on me for publishing a book because, 1, he doesn't read, and 2, why the fuck would you publish a book if you're special ed? That was the one thing that never sat well with me, is him telling me, because you're special ed, you shouldn't be publishing a book. Well, I'm sorry, I'm publishing a book. Whatever you say, Mimi. I mean, this is a kid who got mad that I preferred watching a movie called Star Wars than DC's stuff. But you understand that many people think because you're learning disabled, you're supposed to be nice and pleasant and sweet to these people. If somebody does something to you and you do not agree with it, say something, please. Do not go quietly into that good night and think, oh my god, I am totally a bad person for talking about why I did something, okay? That is like the dumbest thing, and it is like the most disgusting thing that anyone can do to you, is telling you, oh, you're supposed to be nice to this kid because he's got special needs. And I mean, honestly, just because you're special needs does not mean you have the right to be being a jerk to everybody, okay? It does not give you that right. I'm sorry. I am not the human I was back when RES3 was plowing me over with accusation after accusation for something I never did. I honestly never understood why I was at fault for anything, because, you know, people do stuff to me. People do stuff to each other, and honestly, I never could get through a time of being treated like a goddamn pariah just because I told a 20-something-year-old guy who said he was from the Navy, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Because if it talks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. So, yeah. And when your military friends are telling you, this guy is a flipping jackass, get away from him, go ahead, get away. Run, as fast as you can. If you can't get away, from a guy who thinks he is a freaking... So, with the issues that I have at the moment, I think explaining what caused me to run away from a lot of things and why I went to Elder Scrolls for a day. Let me tell you a little story about what happened with this person. Okay, back when I was in college, let's see, I was very nice to everyone, and honestly, being nice to people can get you into a lot of trouble. Let me give you an example. Say you are really, really nice to somebody, and they decide they're not going to be nice to you back. Okay. So I'm heading back to the foundation, because I need to drop off some of this stuff. So, yeah. Back when I was in college, I ended up with a lot of really bad people in my life. And Batsy never came across. My friend Lewis was around. Louis is like the nicest guy you'll ever meet on Facebook. I was introduced to him in the 2000s. Back in 2009, I was introduced to him by my friend Sammy. He and I became really good friends. He actually wanted to date my friend Sammy, but she turned him down, which is fine. They made better friends anyway. We still talked, and one day, Sammy introduced me to a guy by the name of, well, let's just say, we'll just say Batsy was the person he introduced me to. Now, Batsy was a really nice kid. He came from a very different family background to mine. His biological father was a jerk. I will just say that in the honest sense of the universe. His dad was a jerk. His dad treated him like crap, and poor Batsy ended up with a lot of mental complexes because of what his dad did. His dad was, like I said, a freaking jerk. Now, did it ever escape my mind that Batsy would turn into a jerk? No, it did not. But it did tell me one thing. Batsy had a lot of issues when it came to letting people try their own things. Where did I put that? Pull those out. Why did I put them in the second container? So, while I was friends with Batsy, I became friends with a couple people, and honestly, these people were nice. I did not mind them, and we had our own opinions of things, which contradicted what Batsy liked. Batsy did not like it when we spoke out. He got mad at me one day when I told him Lion King was basically the same story as Kim with the White Lion. Which it is. It is very much the same story. But, of course, Batsy didn't believe me and called me a liar. By the way, a couple of my friends took that as offense and got on his case about it. In fact, he got mad enough that he told one of my friends that my friend needed to shut up about a lot of things, and I was like, okay, that's it, I'm done, we're not talking about it anymore. And of course, Batsy blocked me for about a month and a half. That should have been a red flag on its own, but of course, me being stupid me, I'm nice to everybody, so I'm kind of a dumbass. So Batsy told a bunch of my friends that we weren't friends anymore for whatever reason, and I didn't exactly gather why he would say such a stupid thing, because it's kind of hard to be friends with somebody if that somebody is just not a friend to begin with. So one day I just went out and did things on my own, which irritated him even more. I mean, I did me. I did my own thing. I walked out and had fun. And he didn't like that. He actually wanted to yell at me about it. One day, I just said, I'm going out and... One day, I just went out and he, of course, blew up my phone for one reason or another, and I was like, what the hell is wrong? I'm out. I told him I was out, I was busy, and he said, well, you need to talk to me, I need a voice chat with somebody. I was like, okay, whatever, kid, or whatever. I was like, I was done. I really was. Our friendship was not exactly going the way as planned. I was not in a good place to deal with his drama, and he was just being dramatic. I mean, this is a kid who treated me like I was a freaking doormat. One day I decided I wanted to do something fun, and the next day I would get chewed out for having fun. Can you imagine trying to have fun and being told, you can't do that. I'm special needs. I need attention. And you're constantly having to yell at him to let you do your own thing. I mean, honestly, I was just a little tad bit perturbed. And one day, I got told by a friend of mine that he had said some things that were kind of outlandish. For one, I'm friends with a person on a certain group, and he couldn't even access that friendship group in the first place, and he chewed me out about it. Like, literally, my friends in that group did not really want to deal with his drama. So, after that, we didn't talk for a while. I went out and did my own thing. Yeah, it pissed Batsies off, and he blocked me again. Well, whatever. I was like, whatever, this is stupid. I want to do my own thing. So, he tells one of my friends, we're not friends anymore, whatever. He was not going to deal with his drama, and he called me, he called me the problem. Now, let me tell you about his problems and his issues with being told knock it the hell off. Now, Batsy does not like being told to knock it off. In fact, he really doesn't like it when you tell him to knock it off. I mean, this is a kid who literally does not like it when you go out and you say, hey, I'm going to go do this. No, he's not going to let you do that. He's going to yell at you about how it's not very friendly, you're not being a good friend, you can't do this. Are you kidding? And he told me I could not go out and do my own thing. One day I just said, okay, screw it, I'm just going to do my own thing, I don't care. What is he going to do? What's the worst that could possibly happen? Oh, trust me, the worst was, you're being a bully. What? No, literally. You're being a bully. What? Literally, what? I'm hanging out with my friends, and somehow I'm the bully. What the hell, man? I told one of my friends that I could not handle any more drama, and of course I got told, well, Sage says, or Becky says, you're the problem. I'm not the problem here. I was hanging out with people who did not approve of, like Nemesis and his wife. Now, Nemesis's wife had already been put under a huge amount of criticism for marrying my friend. Okay? Alright, I will tell you that when Batsy found out that my friend, the reason why she was put under a lot of criticism had a lot to do with a rumor that was spread about my friend back at a convention about taking up the skirt shots. By the way, I already saw the picture, and it's just a girl sitting on the grass with the skirt over her knees. There was no over the shot, there's no panties, my friend just took a picture, and somehow she didn't like it. And decided to start a rumor about it. So, got it. Permanently banned from the convention. And, I mean, this is a guy who, got a rumor spread about him over a t-shirt, by the way. So you can imagine the, bad juju he felt. So, when his wife, who, by the way, is like the sweetest person in the universe, gets told that is highly suspicious of when she's married. And I'm thinking, what the hell, man? They don't do that. I really just, I just sort of poked it one day, and I told the guy, okay, I have a question. Why is my friend under a... Why? Oh, it's because she married him. I'm like, that shouldn't be a reason to put a young lady under a microscope, okay? Over who she married, and besides, they're pretty happy. So, you can imagine the fun little chagrins I had dealing with somebody like Batsy, getting on me for being friends with someone he did not approve of, or get on me for not accepting criticism for something he had no right criticizing. Like I said, this is a kid who cannot handle his own criticism. And I mean, I know that he can't handle this is a kid who also told me that my book sucked, and then he had no chapter. I'm not kidding. That actually did occur. My mom literally thought the kid needed to go see a psychiatrist. My mother still thinks I need to see a psychiatrist because of this mental damage. But honestly, I think my parents handled it better than I did, because I still think that the kid is flipping nuts, and I am not kidding on that one, because I honestly do not want to deal with drama, and I don't want to deal with his drama, and he is theoretically drama. I mean, how many of you have ever had to deal with a kid who is in his 20s trying to tell you, oh, you can't watch this because I don't like it? Really? You're gonna tell me I can't watch Star Wars because you don't like Star Wars? No. Just no. No. I don't choose to listen to you. Yeah, I literally ignored him. I literally ignored a child with the inability to understand that he is being a control freak. I told my sister this before she passed away, that if I have to deal with a kid who cannot understand logic, cannot understand that he is not the Lord and Master of the universe, I could care less what a kid thinks. That is the truth about all of that whole stalker thing, is he literally thinks that because he has autism, he can tell me, tell anybody, that it is okay to be a bully. It is okay to tell your friends, I don't want you to watch this because I'm a bully. my own parents think that's kind of ridiculous. And the thing is, yes, I do like the things I like. I like going out and playing video games. I do like playing games like ffxiv, which I'm playing currently. I like these games. I like watching and having fun with it. What I don't like is when people go around and tell me I can't play this anymore because they don't like me playing it. I'm going to say that because, literally, quite fondly, little Batsy told me I can no longer play this game because he did not want me talking about it. I wasn't even talking about the game that often, and he was telling me that I am not supposed to talk about it. I am not supposed to be playing this game because he doesn't like it. He doesn't want me playing something that he doesn't like. And I am telling you, this kid literally told me I cannot play this game anymore because it is, and yet he is playing Arkham and telling me that Arkham is better. I was like, really kid? You're telling me I can't even do that. Well, you know what? I don't care. That actually happened. Not right. That was back when I was a kid. I was telling me all this bull wanting me to be less than my authentic self. He literally did not like the fact that I did not embrace my learning disability. I did not use it as a lifestyle. Yes, going to say that of course, this kid is telling people that I am an ableist, which, by the way, I am most certainly not an ableist. I am a person who believes that we should be able to walk on our own 2 feet and not feel like a freaking... I think that it is freaking short-sighted of this kid to go around telling me what I can do with my life. I mean, I went to an anime convention once, and I had a kid who literally told me I am not a real anime nerd. Okay? Literally, I had a kid tell me I am not a real anime nerd. Can you believe that? All because I did not watch Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or any of those popular shows. I was not interested, and yet I was a fake nerd. Well, I guess that just proves the point that life is so freaking, that these people are freaking not able to understand any of logic. So, yeah, that actually happened. Yes, I am saying it now. What I did was probably mean, but honestly, what he did to me was probably far worse than what he could have ever done to somebody else. It was the fact that he actually told a bunch of my friends, particularly the people that I'm friends with, that I cannot be friends with you because of one little itty-bitty, itsy-bitsy thing. Because I like one thing, I am not a real person. I am not a human being. This is a kid who told me that I cannot have friends who like me. I literally told my friends I cannot be friends with somebody who like me. Particularly somebody that I cannot read books I like, by the way. I am not lying. Fatsy literally told one of my friends that he did not like it that I read, I could read books. He literally told somebody he hated me for reading. I did not understand that part because I was like, why are you angry at me for reading a book? I like to read. It is not something I expect to do. And he actually wanted me to actually down my book review page on Facebook. His comment was, what's the point of reading? If it does not have a movie, then why bother reading? I'm gonna do some leveling today, so let's do that. But yeah, I literally got so tired of that controlling behavior that, yes, I am considered a bad person because I told a kid with autism to leave me the hell alone about my life and about my hobbies. Whether or not that is the right thing to do, it remains to be seen. But when you have somebody telling you, by the way, I don't like the fact you like autism, you don't like my story. I don't like the fact you don't like my favorite people. I don't like the fact you don't like me. I mean, yeah, something that you don't like is the fact that I don't like your books. Please understand. There are people out there in this world that do not understand why you shouldn't treat somebody who has a disability like they're a doormat. Then again, Batsy thinks that everybody who is his friend, like the way I was, I should be just like that. I mean, really? I'm supposed to be a freaking jerk to everyone? I told my mom once that people who treat me like I am supposed to be their parent irritate the living hell out of me. I had a friend who thought it was okay to actually tell me I am supposed to be nice to a bully. I am supposed to be nice to somebody who treats me like I am a freaking doormat. I literally did not understand how anyone can treat somebody like a doormat. One time, I literally told one of my friends, why is it that I have no problem treating my friends like friends, but when my friends treat me like a freaking doormat, I am suddenly the bad guy? I don't get it. I literally don't get it. Do I have some sort of flipping disease? Am I a freaking bad person? Did I hurt somebody in a past life? I literally don't get it. I literally don't get it at all. I don't know what it means. But why do people think everybody disabled is supposed to be like a freaking doormat to these people? I literally don't get it. I actually told my mom once, I really don't understand how I'm at fault for what happened with certain people, because honestly, I never took anything from anybody. I never stole from anybody, I never hurt anybody, yet here I am, telling people, please don't do this to me. I am not your mother. I am definitely not your mother. I am definitely not your aunt. I am definitely not anyone who you should be treating like a fucking doormat. Yet, here I am. I have literally no problem calling me, a bad person, because I literally don't do that. So yeah, that's the entirety of my story. I know it's kind of a dumb story and all for anyone who's watching, because you can judge me as being a very bad person. I'm used to that because what I said to this kid was probably pretty out of line. But the fact is, when Batsy told me I had to quit talking about Final Fantasy XIV, stop playing Final Fantasy XIV, and start playing the games he wanted me to play. Which, by the way, calling me closed-minded because I don't want to play a game that is, in my opinion, too violent for me. I assume he understands that I don't play violent video games. I don't like violent video games. In fact, I literally have told people I really don't like violence in general. And people have said that because of the way Batsy did this to me, I literally did not want to deal with the drama. And of course, Batsy being Batsy, I was suddenly a very bad person. Can you imagine having to sit there and tell people, the reason I can't hang out is because Batsy, literally chased me out of my own fan group of friends, and I am now having to rebuild my friendship circles because a immature child is telling me I'm not allowed to talk about what I like. That's literally what I had to live with. I am not sure how anyone in a friendship circle should live with that, but you know what? Friends don't let friends do that, okay? Do not let your friends tell you how to live your life, how to be a doormat, know because people are constantly telling you don't be a doormat. And when your husband is telling you don't be a doormat, I'm not freaking kidding. Do as he says. So yeah, take it as you want, but I'd rather not judge people for being who they are as well. Where do I begin? Oh my god. How many of you actually ever gone to, now that you guys all know the whole backstory of what Batsy did to me, honestly, I don't really know how anyone wants to be upset with me about this. If you have autism and have gone through, I am not going to discount anything you've said, because most people with autism go through a lot of discrimination and a lot of crap. They get treated like crap, and they get stuff thrown at them that is like the biggest shade I've ever seen. And honestly, I applaud anyone who has gone through that, because honestly, you guys have gone through enough drama, and I don't want to ever discount any of the way you feel, any of the way you've gone through life, because honestly, you're human beings, and you're not I'm just gonna say it, you're not what people want to say in general, because they don't want to deal with drama. And when they don't want to deal with drama, they become flipping jerks. That is the whole thing with, when you see people dealing with autistics, is they will tell you, oh, you're doing so well, blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? Are you really gonna put shade on that? I mean, it takes a lot for people to admit they have a learning disability. It takes a lot for people to admit they have problems. But when you go out of your way and say, oh, you're doing so well for somebody when you're only I literally have no respect for people who do that. I've told people that is disrespectful and gross. I mean that in every sense of the word. If someone ever did that to me, I literally would be yelling, because quite frankly, it disgusts me when people do that. It is the most disgusting thing you can do to a person, is by telling them, oh, you're doing so well for somebody with your mental capacity. Like, honestly, I'm stupid or something, that I literally, you just leave. Oh no. I'm sorry, I don't need to. Thank you. Don't come again. I literally have had customers do that to me that working in retail. Like, they find out you're autistic, and all they see is your disability. Lord, I'm sorry, feel that my disability is something to say you have to see. I have literally no patience for people that do that. So, I honestly hope that when people watch this and they see a learning disabled person going, hey, don't do that, because that's disrespectful and very, very nearsighted. Because you're literally telling a human being that mentally they're being expected to be less than, say, a person who went to college and has had nothing but issues ever since, for whatever reason. Now, So, I'm just gonna say it. If you've ever been to, say, do not treat. Oh. Let's go, Summoner! Ooh. Alright, I gotta get off. I'll talk to you guys later.